The elections for the French Parliament ended last Sunday and we need to talk about it in this video. Bonjour, it's Théo. If you don't know me, I talk about Paris and the French way of life on this YouTube channel, but also on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm making one video every single day, so don't hesitate to subscribe. I made a few videos in the last weeks to talk about the political context in France and to share with you the news, what is happening in France right now. And I'm really happy that you loved the videos because it's also sharing the real French way of life, what is really happening in France, beside all the cliché about France, that is the life of the real people. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the legislative elections that happened last week and to see with you the results and what it means, what will happen in the next weeks and months. For those who don't know, you can check my video about the political context to learn more about the elections. And to give you just a little recap, the legislative elections, it's to elect the députés, the people in the parliament, in the Assemblée nationale, which is the French parliament, that are voting the laws. When you are in France, you have 577 députés, and according to your location in France, you will vote for your own people, your own députés, that will represent you in the Assemblée nationale. 577 députés means 577 seats in the parliament, and the political parties that has the more seats, the biggest number of seats, is the one that will choose the prime minister. The president has to take a prime minister from the biggest political party in the parliament. Usually we do these elections, the legislative, every 5 years, just after the presidential elections. We did the last ones in 2022, and that is not 5 years ago. What happened is that after the European elections, the Macron's party, the president's party, has lost a lot of power, and the far right was at the top in Europe, and Macron decided to dissolve the Assemblée, so to make a new elections and to let people choose new députés, new people to represent them. 2 weeks ago, after the first turn, the far right was at the top, and it was possible for them to win the majority in the parliament and to have a lot of power to govern over France. And it scared a lot of people. And I understand them. The two other main parties, the Union of the Left and the Macron's party, the presidential party, decided to give their support to each other against the far right if for the second turn they had one of them against the Rassemblement National, which is the far right party. So, on Sunday, last Sunday, what happened? What are the results? Everybody, all the polls and the media were talking about the victory of the far right, that they will govern, that they will win, that it was the France that the French people wanted, and the French people wanted the far right, and we had to listen to that. And everybody was talking about the far right all the time in the media, like they were already winning. But after watching the results, many people were surprised because the result gave the Left Union on top for the biggest number of seats in the parliament. Everybody was surprised because it was not easy for them to win against the far right. The most surprising is also the Macron's party, the presidential party that is on the second place above the far right. It's surprising because they were at the third place after the first turn, like they were the biggest losers after the first turn, but they are still in the game. So you can see right now an example of the Assemblée, of the number of seats that they will get. And you can see like 3 blocks. The red is for the left, the orange or yellow is for the Macron's party, the presidential party. And there is 2 types of blue for the Republicans, that is the right, and the Rassemblement National, that is the far right. So even if the left has won with the biggest number, the parliament is really nuanced, and they will have to find a prime minister and then a government that will reflect the parliament. If you don't have the majority of seats, more than 289 députés, you will have to make some alliances to govern or to choose a prime minister that is not like too on the left. So the other parties won't just be always against the government. At least these elections are a big win for the left. 1 month ago, after the European elections, all the left parties were divided, and they decided to create this union to work together in the parliament and to have all their parties in the parliament. And it worked. And it's the first time that the left win a national election since 2012. So it's a big sign, a big change that people don't want the far right. and that many people are looking for more social rights and more social justice. But it's still a win also for the far right, because they never had that many deputies, that many seats in the parliament, so it's also a win for them, and we can't really know what will happen in the next few months. After the legislative, the UK and Spain, who have leftist prime ministers and governments, gave their support to France. So we're gonna see what will happen in Europe, in the Western Europe, with like multiple countries that have a leftist government, while the far right is in the government in Italy, for example. After the elections, the Macron's party was not the winner, so they have to change the government and the prime minister. And Gabriel Attal, the prime minister, gave his démission, he decided to quit, and the president has to accept it or not. He didn't accept it for now because he wants to keep the stability of the country. Maybe he will just keep the prime minister during the Olympics, I don't know. Or maybe he will just keep him until the left choose the prime minister. But it's usually like that after the legislative, that the president won't accept the démission of the prime minister before the other parties choose a new one. Right now the parliament is more nuanced than before, and the far right, who was like ready to win and they were all expecting to win with the big majority, it didn't happen. And it really shows that the polls and the media were wrong on that. Everyone was telling that the far right was about to win. Everyone was surprised with the result of the elections. And it means maybe that the polls and the media can influence a lot. They can also be wrong on many things about the real people, because not all the medias are connected with the real people's life. We're gonna see what will happen in the next few weeks and months. I will still make videos to share with you the French politics, because I love to do that and I hope you love it too. It will be difficult for anyone to govern right now, because the president party will have to make some alliance with other parties if they want to make their laws get voted. The left will choose a new prime minister, but they can't be too left because the other parties will be against them. It will be like a real democracy. We will see the real democracy that is with nuanced people and with many different parties that are debating and talking to each other. We're gonna see what will happen in the next few weeks, and I can't wait to make new videos to share with you the French life. Tell me in the comments if you love this kind of video when I share with you the politics and the news about France. I would love to make maybe one video every week to share the news. If you like it, tell me in the comments. And of course, if you want to explore Paris and discover the French way of life, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. I post every single day, so see you tomorrow.